Hello and welcome to the next episode of Sacred Stone Superhard. Today we will be starting Chapter 10. I just want to take a second to look at our items before we do, because we do have, well, some items that might be worth taking a look at, most notably the Guiding Ring. We have two units that could be able to make use of this. We have Arta and we have Mulder, and because I just forgot, thank you to everyone who backs the channel on Patreon. I greatly appreciate the support. It really is appreciated. I said appreciate twice, that's weird, but let's carry on. So, we have the choice of promoting Arta or Mulder, and there is a lot that goes into this decision. The main thing is actually the location of the next Guiding Ring, which comes on Chapter 12. 2 chapters time from now. This is Chapter 10. But here's the real kicker. I don't think either of these units will be deployed on Chapter 11, which is Phantom Ship. I think the best way to handle Phantom Ship would be to go minimal on it, to go low. We probably just send in Seth, Ephraim, and a unit who we will get on Chapter 10, Dusel, to try and handle the map. I think that's the best way to go about it. So with that in mind, it's questionable as to whether or not I actually want to, where's Ide? There we go. It's questionable as to whether or not I actually want to sort of factor that chapter into the promotion. It's basically going to be who's going to be more useful on Chapter 10. And I think the answer to that is probably going to be Arta, providing we can buy him. Okay, we can't. Hopefully we can buy one in the pre-map shop, otherwise the answer is neither, because it doesn't matter, because they can't do anything. Can we buy javelins? Were those available? They are. Okay, brilliant. Can we not just buy straight to convoy? Okay. Ford, take javs. Okay, let's stop running out of weapons for no reason at all. We got that big influx of cash after we took the route split. Let's take advantage of that. Do we need anything else? I think we're fairly okay on axes. Swords, I think we're reasonably okay on. Might pick up a couple. We did have quite a lot of our swords die, so... And are hand axes in here? They are. Do we have any need for hand axes? We can grab a couple, just in case. We have Dusel joining this chapter. We'll grab a few, just in case we need them. Okay. First time we've done map shopping, honestly. So, let's crack on. Let's get to Chapter 10. I don't think this chapter will be too bad. I'm hoping it isn't too bad. There are concerns I have around it, and I definitely don't think we're completing the bonus objective of keeping all the Cavaliers alive, unless they also have the double buffs. If they do, we're probably okay in that regard. But I doubt it, to be honest. So we do have a speed wing to play around with. Now, I think the most obvious candidate for a speed wing is probably Ross. It's the one big thing that's really letting him down. But I'll be honest, I'm not sure if Ross is going to survive much longer. There is something you can do with Ross on Phantom Ship, Chapter 11, which might be more beneficial to us than actually keeping Ross alive. I'm not sure. Other viable candidates, Kyle would be a pretty decent one, taking him up to 12 speed. Arta wouldn't be too bad. 15 speed would help him double a lot more. In fact, let's check the map and sort of try and gauge where the enemies are at. 15 speed for this guy, so Ross would still get doubled even with a speed wing, unless he's weighed down, of course. These guys are so painfully useless that it doesn't actually matter whether or not we buff our speed. We're probably doubling them anyway. Although, actually, I think Ross doesn't there. The archers could actually be a swing factor here. It would give Arta the capability to double these archers, which would be quite nice. Although, I do believe the Bishop promotion also gives 1 speed. I might be wrong about that. Okay, and then we've got these Cavaliers down here, which, I mean, they're very strong. And then down here we have the man himself. My favourite unit in the game, Cormag. Hopefully we can actually recruit him because he's very good. And I quite like having good units. Do these Cavaliers look... These might have been buffed, you know? They look pretty solid. 10 defense, 13 strength, 10 speed. 13... Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. The strength is actually pretty comparable. Maybe. It's hard to say. Actually, I think it's likely that they have, you know? The difference is relatively small. It's hard to say. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure what they would normally be at. Maybe someone can... Well, I'm sure someone who has access to the wiki at the time of watching can take a look and sort of figure it out. Whether or not they have been. Okay. Let Franz and Kyle lead the lines, and I think, as far as the guiding ring debate goes, I'm leaning towards Arta. Ah, we do need to buy him that lightning tome as well. Can't forget that, that is very important. In fact, I'm going to buy him a second. And also, because of his new promotion, let's buy him a heal staff, using up most of our funds. And let's do it. Let's take access to our first bishop. And we will be going bishop on archer and not sage. The big advantage of bishop is the slayer skill, which lets him do, I believe it's triple damage to monsters, if I remember rightly. Sage gets access to anima magic, and I think it also has a higher base magic, or a higher magic modifier, sorry. But I think the monster damage from bishop is just too huge. Being able to one-shot, or at least do sizable damage to a lot of the monsters that are coming up, particularly things like the Cyclopses, and even the Entombed, honestly. We don't get a point of speed. We do get 3 points of defense, though, as well as 2 points of magic, and some other stats sprinkled in there as well. It's very nice. So, we have our first bishop, our first promoted magical unit. Hopefully they can contribute well. Now, I know she's been a very firm fan favourite in the run, but unfortunately Nemi is going to have to bite the dust in favour of Tanner on this chapter. It's just too tempting to have access to a flyer, essentially. Now, I am going to quickly just look something up. I believe the Cormag recruits are Dusel and Tanner, but I want to double check before I start the chapter. Anyone who saw the Path of Radiance Ironman, which is going way back, knows I've had issues in the past with forgetting who recruits units. Okay, where is... I literally cannot find the section... F-frames routes. Talk to with Dusel or Tanner. Okay, I was, in fact, correct. So Tanner actually helps out quite a lot there, giving me an extra option with which to recruit Cormag. We should probably give Tanner some weapons as well. That might help. The other thing to note about this map, which I haven't actually mentioned yet, is there are these boats, which will kill your flying units if you're not careful. Just need to be aware of them, really. Don't move flying units into their range. And we should be okay. Other than that, they're not too threatening. They don't have too much damage, I don't believe. No, they've got 5 strength. Even with the doubled growth, their stats are awful, although they have a lot of con. They're basically ballistas on water. I was going to say ballistas on legs, but that's the opposite. Okay. Just need to probably distribute out a couple of additional weapons here. Take an Iron Lance on Ephraim. I think Seth's in an okay spot. We could possibly give him some extra things, but he can always make use of the convoy if he needs to. Molder's in a fine spot. Why are we bringing 3 healers? Is that necessary? Should we bring Nemi over Natasha? It genuinely might be better. I think we might need the ranged chip. I'm going to bring Nemi over Natasha. In hindsight... Well, not even in hindsight. Like, although the past decision differed from that, I think it's the right choice. Arta's in a good spot. Garcia is fine. Ross is also fine. Loot is fine. Ford needs to give out some of these javelins. I would quite like Seth to have one, actually. I just don't know what we should take it over. Guess I'll take it over the elixir for now, but we might need to pass that back to him at some point. I think I will actually grab a javelin with Tanner. I wish I'd bought a couple more now. We have a lot of lance users in this game. I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised. Oh, we've still got a couple of jabs in the convoy. Okay, we overbought them. That's good. That's what I wanted to have done. And that means we can give Kyle a refresh on his as well, which only has 1 remaining use. Perfect. No, not a heavy spear, although that might be useful. Heavy spear is not a bad item here at all. I am actually going to take that elixir on F-frame. It means anyone who wanted to access it from the convoy still has a very similar path. Although I think I accidentally traded it to Ford. Yeah, there we go. Anyone who wanted to access it from the convoy still has the same path. They have to be next to F-frame, but it just lets F-frame use it whenever he wants. And sort of keeps it fresh in my mind that we have it, to be completely honest, because I can be a little forgetful. Do we have... We do have an extra vulnerary. We have a couple of pure waters as well, which I might actually take. Get some lancers going on Tanner as well. Grab a pure water on her. It might actually be useful on her. We really should use that speedwing before we go into the map. I think I'm going to go Artie, you know? Oh, I don't know. The other option, actually. The other option is to save it for this man. Dusel, another recruit on this chapter who I haven't touched on yet, but an incredibly strong unit with 17 base strength and defense and 41 HP in the Great Knight class. Shoving him up to 14 speed would actually help him quite a bit. You'd see these enemies here are actually outspeeding him. Or not outspeeding him, but like not being doubled by him. But actually with a speedwing, the ones with a hand axe would be doubled by him. I think I might do that. I think I might save it for Dusel. Okay, just take an extra Iron Lance on Ford. We do have this Brave Lance sitting around, actually. Maybe that should go on somebody. Kyle was struggling to double. What's the F-frame speed like? 14? It's a lot faster than Kyle. I'm going to take that on Kyle. I'm going to take it over the Steel Sword. For those of you who may be unfamiliar, the Brave Lance basically guarantees a double, and both attacks occur before the opponent's hit. And if you would double anyway, you instead get 4 hits. 2 before the opponent's attack, 2 after. It only has that effect on the player phase, I believe, or at least that might be different in this game, actually. I don't quite remember, but with all that said and done, it was a lot of prep work, but I think we're good to go. Okay. So, what are we staring down the barrel of here? 2 Iron Lance soldiers. Affectionately referred to as cannon fodder. Okay, let's just check their attack. 22. Kyle, your defense is 12, so they will deal 10 each to you. You do double them. I think these are your kills, my friend. So, we're looking at these tiles here as being safe. It's good for both of those. The only concern is if Kyle will actually kill them, but... We can take a couple of turns if we need to. Did I send back his iron? Oh, he doesn't have an Iron Lance. He only has a Steel Lance, a Javelin, and a Brave Lance. Hang on a second. Ah, we don't have another Iron Lance lying around. Okay. Just double check what tile it was again, that one. Okay, cool. Can go here. Actually, one thing I need to keep doing is checking the range of these boats. We do not want to accidentally wander into their range when we're not prepared for it and pay the price for that. No, not there. There. You've not got a longbow or anything weird, right? Iron bow. Iron sword. Iron sword. Iron sword. Okay, cool. Move our new bishop into range. And as long as we stay now to the right of Kyle, we should be okay. Okay. Stack everyone up here in a big column. Hello, Volta. Goodbye, Volta. It actually takes a damage extra from that guy than I calculated for, but it should be okay. He doesn't actually get the kill. Leaves him alive on 1 HP. I think the guy had 1 more HP than the other guy, unfortunately, so we don't get the kill there, but this guy does still manage to reach. The only problem is the hit rate's a bit shaky, and he has more defense, so he still doesn't die. That does, though, mean that these kills are free for anyone who wants to claim them, so not the worst thing in the world. So, in case I didn't say, the point of this map is to defend Dusel. He needs to survive for 10 turns. The map ends after 10 turns, which might make it a little bit difficult to get things like Cormag. That's why I'm a bit concerned. This guy has an Eclipse. Now, after the last video, I've realised that I just completely forgot how Eclipse worked. Eclipse deals half of an unit's remaining HP to them as damage and will only kill them if they're on 1 HP. So it's not the big concern I thought it was. And the fact that it's targeting us and not a unit who's all the way down there is actually pretty solid. Yeah, it was... I literally just forgot how Eclipse worked. I don't think it's a particularly common spell ever, so... yeah, my mistake on that one, I'm afraid. I'd really like to get Seth through to the other side of these axe users, although I don't actually know what they have. Iron Axe, Steel Axe, Hand Axe. If we could potentially position sort of on the fringe of their range, maybe put Seth in the bush where this soldier is, that would be very ideal. We do need to make sure, though, that we get Kyle out of there, if not healed. I'm going to go with Mulder here, and actually use the full men staff on him. If we could get an extra level up on Mulder prior to this level, would be pretty nice. And I think it's high time we see our first Arter kill here. Picking off the last man with the last use of this lightning tome. And there he is, the bishop himself. Ah, one thing I didn't do. And I must remember to do, otherwise we're going to be missing things. Is this. Oh, I did remember to do it. Excellent. Good job, me. Okay. You can't reach there, so I'm going to use Tanner to pick up this kill, I think. If she hits. If not, we have other options. It's okay. She does miss. Okay, that's fine. I'm not sure whether or not we're going to use Tanner as an actual combat unit, but she will almost certainly see play from a utility perspective. Okay, I'm going to move Ford out of the way here. He's just sort of clogging up the path a little bit. I'm going to give this kill to Ross, who actually doubles with his hatchet. Although his hatchet is running low. Still think we're good to throw it here, though. Oh, he still missed! There we go, he hit the second. And that just goes to show the hatchet was important there. 99 EXP for the man. Wonderful. Can Seth take 3 attacks here? 26, 28. We could take those down by 1 each because we will equip him with a sword. 26, 28, so that's 14 plus 12. Minus 2 is 24. Remember, he can't be left on 1 HP. Where's the hand axe guy? It's you, isn't it? 25 minus 12 is 13 minus 1. I think he would be left on 2 HP, but honestly, for me, that's a little risky. I'm going to leave Seth where he is, so he only has to tank these 2. It doesn't give him the bush, but he has to tank less people, and by and large, that's a little bit safer. We do need to try and get a hustle on here, though, because we have a Dusel and a Cormag that we would like. And the problem is, it's hard to get a hustle on when the map's difficult. Okay, let's move in some friends. Okay. I'd rather have F-frame a little bit closer there, and then move you in there, and then... Oh, that's Kyle. I do want to swap those over. The steel sword might have actually been beneficial here. Oh, sure, we'll be fine. Hopefully I haven't made any terrible errors. Goodbye, Glenn. Isn't his brother dead by this point? It's not actually a kill, unless he decides to bag a crit. Okay, someone else can pick up that. That's okay. Hopefully the other guy is still in range. He is not. Oh, that's actually kind of terrible. We do actually need to start seeing some movement. He can hit loot all he wants. That is perfectly okay. In fact, if anything, that's just some extra healing EXP for one of our healers. But she does dodge. Okay, we do see some reinforcements come out. Okay. This first kill doesn't require much at all to see it over the line. I might use loot to pick this up. Not on that guy, obviously. Okay. A lot of XP there for the girl. What is your path around here? Okay, so if we occupy these two squares, they can't get through, essentially. You have a Lance Reaver. Little concerning. Does mean it's weak to axes, but our best units aren't our axe users. That is a clean kill for Seth. And I think we probably want to take a clean kill for Seth. We want him just wiping somebody out in a single hit. Which is only possible on this man here. So let's just take that. Hopefully this is a dodge. Good. Okay. The time pressure on this map adds a very interesting component, because it's basically made it a lot harder. The lack of double there is extremely painful, and I'm guessing if we'd have given Arthur that speed wing... she might have been still out of range. Yeah, he would. Okay. Makes me feel a little bit better about it, at least. Could go in for the Brave Lance here, but it's very inaccurate. We could throw an axe at the man. Doesn't quite give Arthur enough damage to kill, though. Although we could use, say, Nemi to pick up the kill. Although it still leaves this hand axe soldier, who is in a prime position to take out loot. Perhaps I've overextended a bit here, although we have obviously rescuing options. Let's see if this hits. It does, that's good. Throw the hatchet at this guy. Very quickly running out of the hatchet, but it's a very useful weapon, so making use of it is good, essentially. Gain an HP and a strength. Not a terrible level up, but we could really use some speed going into Ross here. Now this should be a kill for Arthur, if I'm not mistaken. It is. And it's a guaranteed hit. I don't see anything that could go wrong there. One thing I do want to quickly check is how does Arthur fare against this hand axe soldier? He can take a hit, so we're fine to leave him in range. That's good. It's good to know. Good. Good kill for Arthur there. If it wasn't for this one axe guy, I'd be comfortable putting Ephraim here, but Oh, actually, there's the Lance Reaver soldier too. Okay, I think we basically have to rescue loot out, like, guaranteed. We can't occupy enough squares for that to not be what we do. In fact, I'm going to drop it here. And I think I'm just going to put Kyle here. He shouldn't be able to take too many attacks, so I don't think him dying should be a concern. Although, he might actually take a double, or he's definitely taking a double from that guy. He has 21 strength. Kyle, how much defense do you have? That's 9 times 2, that's 18. That takes him down to 14 HP. This guy's 25. It takes him down to 1 HP. That leaves him in range of dying to Eclipse. Actually, no, this guy will do 1 less because he has an axe against a sword. So he should be on 2 HP. And I think that's the worst case scenario, providing... Oh, no, this guy also doubles him. I think. He's not weighed down by his sword, no. Oh, this guy also doubles him. 7 times 2 is 14. Ah, that's actually just less damage. He has less damage. I think we're okay to put Kyle there. I hope I'm right. I'm sort of hoping the hand axe guy will go first and just throw his axe at Arta here, to be honest, because the Arta can eat that all day. Just use a heal staff on Ross. Get a little bit of extra XP squeaked out. What's your speed? 11? Ephraim has more than 11, right? Yeah, sit in this bush. You don't die, right? This guy's gonna have like 37 damage or something ridiculous. No, okay. I think Kyle is okay there. I think. Do you have a sword equipped? You do. Okay. Gonna go Slim Lance here, just to increase the dodge chances. Hopefully there's nothing that I've missed. That guy comes in. Okay, it's the weaker enemy who came in to take up the spot. And there is no shot of Kyle killing him. He didn't crit, which is actually something I didn't account for. There was a small crit chance there. So I think Kyle should be okay. Gaining his points of speed and defense there obviously helps him a lot too. The pirates are getting close to the Cavaliers. Okay, with how comfortably the Cavalier took that hit, I think they also felt the effects of the buffs. As we see the Lance Reaver enemy try to take on Seth and hopefully get very close to death. Okay, doesn't take a second attack, unfortunately, but still leaves us in a relatively strong position. The hand axe soldier is not in a position to hit, well, anyone who's in the back, as the Eclipse comes out on loot. She dodges again. Great, brilliant. Good stuff, loot. Okay, so yeah, he's going to go for Kyle, and actually misses. That's huge. Big fan of that. Big fan of that chain of events. Okay, we really need to start just punching through enemies here. Is this where Cormac starts moving? So Cormac starts moving at a point in time and also brings with him a bunch of his wyverns. Nothing more really to say on that one. It's going to be a pain to deal with. What do you two have? Just iron swords, I hope? Yes. Okay, good. Okay, I don't think Arta picked up a kill on either of these, which is a little bit disappointing. I would have hoped he would have, but neither does Ephraim. Although Ephraim and Arta can combine to kill this merc, which I think might be the play. Good hit there from Ephraim as well. Pretty shaky, so good job he picked that one up. Okay, cool. So we do see a kill come out here onto Arta. Although, again, not picking up the one on the Lance Reaver Myrmidon down there by himself is a little bit of a shame. I think I might just full move Seth and just send him into the belly of the beast here. It seems risky, but I think it's actually the safer strategy for beating the level. Because we don't just need to survive the current moment, we need to actually, you know, clear the map. I'm really tempted to hit this guy with something a bit harder, like a Steel Lance, so we can wipe him out in 2 hits. I think I'm going to, actually. This does also put Seth in the range of the big boat, but as you can see, the Myrmidons at this point, or the mercenaries at this point, just aren't doing any relevant damage. So we don't need to worry too much about that. Now, I'm hoping Ross takes out this guy. He does. If he misses, he does live. We could heal him with Arta. Don't make me have to do that. Good job, Ross. Let's go. Still gaining some pretty solid EXP from these kills. Okay, doesn't need much more, actually, to reach his promotion. We do still need to take out this guy. Hopefully I haven't bitten off more than I can chew here. Although, I think pretty much anyone around here is capable of taking on this soldier, with the possible exception of Ross. How much speed does he have? 11. How much speed do you have? 9. Okay, yeah, so Ross shouldn't get doubled, so... Yeah, anyone should be able to take that hit fairly comfortably. That being said, I would really like to make this guy not alive anymore. However, that doesn't look like it's going to be possible. I would say this is actually a bit of an overextension by me. Is Molder fast enough to avoid a double from that man? 11 speed? I'm pretty sure that's a speed tie, it is. And he's actually weighed down by a point, so he goes down to 10. So the answer to that is yes. So I think I'm going to send Molder in behind here. And just let me check that tile isn't targetable by the archer. It isn't. Okay. Both of those guys only reach Seth. This guy will reach Kyle, but I don't think Kyle cares. With any luck, this will miss. It did. Good. This is actually a full heal with the heal, I believe. No, it isn't. We will need to use a mend. We're running out of the... Actually, no, it is a... He's only missing 14. Okay, yeah, it is a full heal with a heal. Okay, the only person who concerns me here is Ross, but I think he's okay. Nobody should be facing a double from this guy. Everyone is fast enough to avoid that. And neither of these two reach Kyle. The only one who does is the archer, who only reaches Kyle. Okay, we should be fine. If we can start moving Seth down, we can use Tanner to take down a unit like Arta or Kyle if it would make it a bit easier, although Kyle can probably just clip-clop down there on his own. We also need to be careful to keep Loot out of range just because of the targeting she's facing from the Eclipse. She seems to be their favourite candidate for those hits, so hopefully this should see this guy bite the dust. It does! Excellent! It's another one down. Perfect. Actually, it's F-frame we could really do with getting down there, and we do need to be aware of these wyverns moving. As Seth levels up, gains speed, HP, and res. Not a bad level up at all, actually. Pretty solid all around. As this actually lines Seth up for another 2-shot. Perfect. Perfect. Although, I'd rather not have him hanging around here any longer, to be honest. The Cavs are facing a lot of pressure, and this is where... none of them die, actually. Oh, God. In come the wyverns. I don't know what happens to Cormac's wyverns after you recruit him. I honestly can't remember. I think they just stay as enemies, and we have to kill them. So we do need to be a bit aware of that. We don't want to lose anyone to them, although... I'll be completely honest, I would quite happily trade Tanner for Cormac. The other concern, actually, is that Cormac might kill himself on Dusel. Okay, that guy heals up with a Vulnerary. As does this guy by moving closer to the enemies. Not that I'm judging your tactical prowess, but I don't think that was the play. Okay. I don't know if this guy did attack and I just missed it, but it didn't seem to do much. Wall is so annoying. I really just want to full send Seth down. The Eclipse Soldier is just not a threat to me. Do any of you have anything I need to be concerned about? A Horseslayer! Ah. Ow. Yeah, there's a reason for concern if I've ever seen one. Okay, we want to stay out of that guy's range for obvious reasons. A Killing Edge! Okay. Don't hold back, game. Don't hold back. So there is Cormac himself. Now, we can probably snatch his recruitment with Tanner if we need to. But as mentioned, I'd rather try and do it a little bit safer. I think, unfortunately, I'm just going to have to leave the squad up here to deal with these guys while Seth gets a hustle on. We took his elixir off of him, which right now is feeling like a very silly move. I think this might be where we break out the Brave Lance for the first time, although that's a very dodgy hit rate. I think I'm going to take that attack. That tile is still safe. So, I don't know if it's safe from this guy. Actually, it is. Okay, so we can occupy that tile with no issues at all. Cool. Good to know. Oh, I was really hoping for a dodge there. That means we have to heal him with Molder. Okay, and then we can pick up that kill with Kyle. And hopefully Kyle and the squad can deal with those other two enemies. We do actually need to recruit Dusel, which probably means sending F-Frame down there in some manner. So we probably need to get... We need to get Seth moving, like, really badly. So this chapter will be continued in the next part. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and thank the people who back the channel on Patreon. I really do appreciate the support. I'll catch you all next time. Have a good night.